I think this is like the third worst single day in trading history. Like on market open, it's up there. I think it's in the top three. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it's in the top three. If I did stocks be running into office building windows full sprint. Imagine if you were like the one guy in the office who shorted beforehand. Everyone else was like, dude, the tariffs are going to be like 12% on China and like 6% on Vietnam. And then he's going to throw in some fun ones on Iran or something. It's not going to be anything. And you're like, I don't know. I think I'm going to short the entire goddamn market. Now you're sitting pretty. Why did he kill Vietnam? Well, okay. You're not going to believe this. And I can't prove this is true. But it seems like they asked ChatGPT how to apply these tariffs and then listened to ChatGPT. Now, I'm not going to investigate this because I don't care to. I genuinely just don't care. But what I'm hearing people say, that's the kind of research we're getting in this environment, by the way. Like, right, listen, okay, the only meaningful information you should be getting from me is like rice and bean tips and how to hunt like irradiated rats in the wasteland to survive. Okay, that's like we're past the point of me verifying this myself. But depending on how you phrase things, you can reliably get the exact Trump tax plan by asking ChatGPT how to account for a trade deficit with other countries through tariffs. They applied tariffs to countries that use the US dollar. They applied tariffs to countries that have no tariffs on the US. They have applied tariffs to countries that don't have an economy. They don't have an economy at all. No economy. So I mean, you can take from that what you want. I'm trying to find, I think it was, who was the Trump official who was arguing? It was Kush Desai. Hold on one second. One moment. Okay. So here's what they did. Here's the possibly ChatGPT derived, ignore the meme, ChatGPT derived formula they used, okay? So we'll follow this, okay? So first of all, here are the tariffs. It's important to understand the tariff rates that foreign countries are supposedly charging us are just made up numbers. South Korea, with which we have a trade agreement, is not charging a 50% tariff on US exports, nor is the EU charging a 39% tariff. What they actually did is they calculated our trade deficit over total exports. So basically, tariffs charged to the USA number here actually refers to, as a percentage, how much of their stuff we're buying versus how much of our stuff they're buying. Or to put it another way, you guys aren't going to believe this, Laos is not buying a lot of American-made cars. Believe it or not, we can afford to buy lots of textiles from Laos, and they are not buying a lot of left field NYC American hand-loomed in Pennsylvania denim jeans. Now you understand? It has nothing to do with tariffs. How is it 10% for literally every country? Like, where did that number come from? Do you have a mirror? And are you flexible enough to bend down like 90 degrees? Because I can show you where it came from. So anyway, just figured out where these fake tariff rates came from. They didn't actually calculate tariff rates plus non-tariff barriers as they said they did. Instead, for every country, they just took our trade deficit with that country and divided it by the country's exports to us. So we have a $17.9 billion trade deficit with India. So again, to those of you who don't know, that literally just means we buy more from them than they buy from us. You have a trade deficit with your local grocery store. Your grocery store doesn't buy stuff from you. You buy stuff from them. There's a 100% trade deficit relative to what they buy from you, which is nothing, unless like you've offered a lot of returns. I'm not really sure. I don't know your story. I will tariff my local store. It's the American way. Its exports to us are 28 billion. 17.9 divided by 28 equals 64%, which Trump claims is the tariff rate Indonesia charges us. What extraordinary nonsense this is. So, and I know I say this a lot, but this is absolutely insane. It is beyond insane. It would be like if Donald Trump said we were declaring war on every country that had killed American citizens through combat, and then what he did was put up a big chart of how many American casualties had been suffered by each country, and it included like fat American tourist expats in Malaysia who tripped over their own shoelaces and hit their head in a table corner or something. And then he said, like, because we've lost so many Americans bravely in the line of duty against Malaysia, like, we will be firing Tomahawk missiles directly into their Capitol building. Like, that is the level of disconnect we're operating on. It is stupider and crazier than I think anything anyone could have predicted. It's not Nobody even knows what's going to happen from now on because no one's ever done this, right? We're in the dark zone economically. We're not even in the cool zone. We're in the dark zone. The last time tariffs of this size were applied in this country, which by the way was the Great Depression. It's 1930. It was the Great Depression. That was when that happened. But back then, we were not even remotely as reliant on foreign trade as we are now. Like right now, the extent to which foreign trade makes up our economy, it's many times greater. It's like an order of magnitude greater than what we had back then. It's stupider than anyone could have predicted. So anyway, the White House Deputy Press Secretary quote tweeted this and said, "No, we literally calculated tariff and non-tariff barriers." And here we're using some, well, these are Greek characters, right? I apologize for being Grecophobic. I'm not, I can't identify them at a glance. These are Greek. Yeah, it's got to be, because it's got like loopy letters and stuff, you know? It's like fancy letters. Yeah, you got it. So we're trying to obfuscate the calculations here, but I'm just going to skip to the punchline, which is the community note. The formula used in the image specifies a delta tariff rate derived from exports minus imports over imports, meaning the original post is correct. To put it another way, here's the equation written out. The Trump administration arbitrarily determined that two of the factors under the divider are 4 and 1/4, or they cancel out to 1, or the original post was correct. No. It's not trade deficit over imports, okay? We've got the squiggly E and the weird cursive P up in there too. Now it cancels out, admittedly, so it's exactly what you said. This is real. That's an F. I don't care. That's Epsilon and Psi. Psi is a musician and Epsilon committed suicide in jail or something. I don't know. Shut up, man. Small banks are falling off, man. Everything is going to be falling off, man. It's stuff like this really does I guess it like, we've had a million confirmations, but it's further confirmation to the point that like whatever grand master strategy they're employing, like the deliberate recession, they're still too stupid to know what they're doing. Like we are dealing with a character archetype here. There might be some greater plan. They don't know what they're doing in the way over. This is not the most efficient way to do what they're doing. It doesn't make any sense. I really genuinely think they just asked ChatGPT. And by the way, people in chat have been posting like, yeah, look, literally, you can ask ChatGPT this question and it'll give you the exact answer that they applied on an international scale. To every country except Russia and North Korea, apparently. Do it, Vosh. I will never interact with ChatGPT. Yeah, it's pretty big. The weighted average U.S. tariff rate has jumped to 29%, which is greater than the Smoot-Hawley Act of 1930. That's cool, man. So the chart doesn't go up to that point, but right here is where it's going to jump to. What happened in 1930? Nothing of note. Don't worry about it. 29 was the Great Depression, right? The Smoot-Hawley Act, I'm pretty sure, was like an extremely ill-advised and poorly thought out effort to curb the Great Depression that ended up making it a lot worse. The act significantly raised tariffs on over 20,000 imported goods in an effort to shield American industries from foreign competition during the onset of the Great Depression, which began in 1929. The act was a major factor in the reduction of American imports and exports by 67% during the Depression. Exactly 2/3. That's very satisfying. Currently on track for the worst day in the S&P 500 trading since the 2020 crash. 1987, 1929, 2020. Damn, 1987. Black Monday. I didn't realize Black Monday was a net 20%. That's crazy. We're getting up there. Market is still hoping for a reversal. Well, keep in mind that it says right over here that some of the biggest, largest daily percentage gains American history has ever seen were in 1933, 1929, 1931, 1932. So just keep that in mind. You know, you might see rebounds, but there is a bit of a ping pong game. The thing in banks is that in 2008, only the biggest loaners and debt holders felt the crisis. Well, initially, yeah, but like this is totally different to 2008 because 2008 was I mean, the underlying problem here isn't market instability. Market instability didn't cause this. It just flat out like the president hit the big red button that makes trade cost 50% more or whatever. It's not. You know, it's not complicated, basically. Like, it turns out the president does actually have a kill the economy button. Hoover signed the bill against the advice of many senior economists, yielding to pressure from his party and business leaders. Oh, wow. What that is just a crazy historical parallel. The business class being like, "Yes, please do the thing that'll fuck us over. We're very stupid and greedy. Please, God, yes." And the economists being like, "Please don't." That sounds really bad. Although intended to bolster domestic employment and manufacturing, the tariffs instead exacerbated economic difficulties. Many of America's trading partners retaliated with tariffs of their own, leading to a sharp decline in global trade. U.S. exports plummeted, worsening depression rather than alleviating it. Y'all are just dropping links. Should ban all of you. Inconsiderate motherfucker. Not even saying what the link is. Does this mean I won't be able to afford rice or beans? I mean, it does mean that rice and beans will be more expensive. In May 1930, a petition was signed by 1,028 economists in the United States asking Hoover to veto the legislation. Henry Ford spent an evening at the White House trying to convince Hoover to veto the bill, calling it economic stupidity. Okay, I guess that's one big difference. The oligarchs back in Hoover's day actually opposed the bill. J.P. Morgan's chief executive, Thomas W. Lamont, said he almost went down on his knees to beg Herbert Hoover to veto the asinine Hawley-Smoot tariff. Genuinely, oligarchs used to be smarter. That is actually true. In 100 years ago, Elon Musk would have been like the half-breed bastard child who would have been like given a lobotomy and sent upstate to sit in a rocking chair until he died of natural causes at 34 or something. Like he would not have been anywhere near the levers, not even close. Then link the goddamn interview, John YouTube. They're gonna have to update this chart. U.S. average tariff rates. 61% of retail investors are bearish. Worst market pessimism since 2009. Extreme fear. Extreme. Pull up the damn chart. Stock market's closed in the dip. Yucky. Closing on a low point's not good. Kind of implies that when the market's open tomorrow, it's going to be a while before we see any good news economically, right? Like for a while, it's just going to be closures. It's going to be, here's a better link. You can see all the companies. Guys, is this good? Can somebody tell me if this is good? I'm not a economist. Semiconductors down massively. Consumer electronics down 10%. Consumer cyclical, internet retail. Tesla and Amazon. Google and Meta. How are like Walmart and Best Buy doing? That's Walmart, right? Costco. Campbell's Soup has been going up. Nice. Target's down 11%. What's DLTR? What about rice and bean stonks? Well, Costco is up 0.25%. Dollar Tree. Yeah, it makes sense. Pretty much everything in Dollar Tree is coming. It's not being made in the United States. I can tell you that much. Should I buy the dip? Buddy, I do not think this is the dip. Check out Nike. Yeah, unfortunately for me, textile companies or any like clothing companies, they're going to be hit pretty badly because they're not making their shit in the US. You know, New Balance actually experimented with this. They did a made in the United States collection, you know, because people are always saying like, well, I would buy American. What's a regular New Balance sneaker that you can get anywhere, right? 60, 70, 80 bucks. I don't know. I don't own any New Balance. The made in America ones are 200, 250, thereabouts. Oh, no, hold on. The Made in America 990 V6s are 120 bucks. Oh, because they're discounted. They're normally 200s. 200 bucks. Luxury sneakers. Oh, well, I don't actually know if they're luxury. I mean, I don't know if there's anything about them that's meaningfully better. It used to be the case that stuff made in America was better than stuff made like in Vietnam or the Philippines or whatever, but that's not necessarily true. You know, I can say, for example, Double RL, who I'm very fond of, right? A lot of their clothing is made in Vietnam, but Vietnam has some incredible textile and clothing manufacturing mills. It's not all sweatshops. China's got 1.4 billion people. They've got room for high quality, manufacturing companies in there, you know? Sure, the wages are still lower on average than they are in the United States, but it's not like everything over there is sweatshop labor. Weird how we haven't figured out automated clothing production yet. Oh, it's not going to happen for a long time. Every piece of clothing currently on your guys' body was touched by a human being in its production. Every single one. Even t-shirts? Yeah. Well, happy to see healthcare companies are doing great with this news. I wonder why. Healthcare plans. Grim. Terrible news. The most evil corporations in America are benefiting from the tariffs. Beverages are doing good. Non-alcoholic beverages, tobacco, packaged foods. It makes sense that food and beverages would be going up, right? Because no matter what, people need them. Like, there's not really any way around that. No matter what, people... Same with utilities. Okay, you can see some patterns here. The tariffs are going to hit... The companies most affected by tariffs will be the ones where people are being treatlerites, right? Where people want, like, their China snacks. But people need food and drinks, no matter what. So they're going to gravitate towards those. And the price will go up. And people will buy it anyway. Vosh, I'm in a tech college, and one of last year's capstone projects was trying to make a shirt folding machine. Just one size of t-shirts. It was apparently a nightmare at every step. Yep, it's incredibly difficult. It's insanely difficult. You could probably make a machine to do a lot of the work on some kinds of clothing articles, but it would be so much more expensive and finicky than just having a human being do it. Red means good for the economy, right? Yes. All right, just kind of mesmerizing, huh? Oh no, the asset management firms, kerplunk. Every single one of them is down 7% or more. Holy shit. It's a bad day to be a company whose job it is to handle people's stock market investments, because you're getting calls from everyone. Everyone's calling in being like, what the f***? And you're like, I'm sorry, it's the whole market, man. I'm sorry we didn't move all of your shares into tobacco, Philip Morris International Incorporated beforehand. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I definitely should have invested in healthcare plans. That's a safe bet. Warren Buffett had the right idea and just pulled out everything in like January. What did he know? The same thing we all knew, I guess. It is a good time to be an accelerationist. That is definitely true. Is it a good time to be a rice and beans vendor? You think you're being funny, but we literally just established the answer to that is yes. Like if you were paying attention, then you would know, yes, Costco is up 0.33%. Tobacco, packaged foods, for the most part, holding steady. Non-alcoholic beverages. Do we make rice in the U.S. at all? Believe it or not, yes. Utilities are up. American food is almost all made in America. America produces a lot of food. We have a very large country, and the land is very arable, right? Like a lot of America is a breadbasket. We have a pretty massive surplus for a lot of foods. Certainly, there's a lot of stuff you have to import because not all foods can grow everywhere, but we import most of our fruits and vegetables. Well, yeah, a lot of fruits and vegetables will only grow in certain climates, right? Like there's just a limit to how much you can do. America is only meaningfully occupying a certain portion of the world, physically speaking. You gotta get your cocoa beans and coffee from down south. You know how it is. We have oranges.